I am Sam Queso, and I'm building my bankroll to $100,000 so I can quit my job as a roofer and play poker full time. Right now, we weren't even gonna make a vlog today. This guy comes in here talking a lot of noise. What'd you say earlier? Say what you said earlier.
You're gonna be living out of your car after this game.
Y'all heard it here. You heard it here.
And
the great news is, hey, you're sponsoring the channel. This is the donkey of all of the shorts. You are the official donkey of the channel. And I just want to say thank you, brother. Thank you. Who is that? Is that Corey? Hey, big fan, brother.
Hey, I've seen some of your shorts.
Okay.
Huge. Yeah, all the ones with me.
Big fan, brother. Big fan.
Hey,
Seriously.
I love how you use the sound effects.
Yeah. Hey,
no one does it like
I'll blur your face out of this. I know you don't want to be on the web. It's all good, brother. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I got you. Nick. I almost forgot one donkey. Just say hi. Just say your name. Say how much you donated to the channel. A lot. You sponsored the vlog, literally. You're the reason that these vlogs keep going. He's the reason that the shorts keep going. Right there. The vlog donkeys right here. Real quick, before we jump into these hands, if you guys want to stop being comment heroes and jump on the virtual felt with me and catch some punts, this is your chance. Join my club. The club ID is 238328. The referral ID is 34617050. Shut your mouth, lock in, quit talking in the comments, hop on the virtual felt, get stacked, or catch some punts. Not one, not two, but three. Coin. Let's get into this video. Shut your mouth.
Didn't even know what I had.
All right, we hop into this 5-10 game for $1,500. And in the first hand of note, we look down at pocket jacks in the big blind. There's a limp and then a raise from the hijack to $35. The cutoff calls and then the button at 3 bets to $90. A fairly small 3-bet, and he can be doing this pretty light being on the button. So I think a 4-bet is in order, and that's what I do. I 4-bet to $225. And then the hand gets wild because the limper jams, then the hijack re-jams, and the cutoff re-jams, and obviously, I'm just kidding, they all folded, and the button just calls. So we're heads up to a flop. It comes 6, deuce, 7, rainbow, which is basically the best possible board you can ask for with pocket jack. So I'm going to continue betting. I bet $150, and the button fairly quickly calls. We're off to a turn. It's the 5 of diamonds, which is not my favorite card because hands like 5-6 and 5-7 suited make 2 pairs. So I slow down and check, and he checks it back. Thankfully, we're off to a river. It's the 5 of spades, which is actually a really good river. And I think we might have made a mistake here when I decided to check. Now, in the moment, I figured the only hands I would call a bet that we have beat were pocket 8s through pocket 10s. But I also thought if I checked, those hands might bet. And I thought if he had an ace or king high type of holding, he would also try to bluff at it. So now that I'm saying this all out loud, it actually makes a lot of sense. This was a great check by me. I love my play. And here's what ends up happening. My opponent goes into the tank and ultimately decides to try and break the table when he checks it back. We show the jacks and we are good. On to the next hand. All right, this next pot or hand is the biggest pot and biggest hand of the session. So here we go. We look down at pocket kings and the small blind. Action starts with a raise to $20 from the low jack. The hijack and cutoff call, and obviously we are 3-betting here. I raise to $135, and then the big blind decides that's too cheap and 4 bets to $360. Wow, at least once per video I have to mess up on a voiceover. So here it is, $360. Y'all heard it, which typically I'd love to see, but this player's fairly tight. So there's a 50-50 chance he might have aces, and if he doesn't, if he does, I guess he's getting my stack. Congrats, I'll rebuy. Anyways, action folds back to me, and rather than 5-betting and making my hand look face up, I just call. We're heads up to a flop. It comes 8, jack, 3, rainbow. So pretty dry flop for the most part. I check, and he continues for $220 as expected, and there's really not much to do here besides call. So that's what I do. We're off to a turn. It's a 3 of clubs, another brick, unless he's 4-betting Octo Crab like Cairo or until Nick would, but that's probably unlikely. So I check, and he does not stop betting. This time he bets $425. And once again, not much I can do besides call, so that is what I do. We're off to a river. It's the 9 of clubs. Shouldn't have really changed much unless he has ace king of clubs. So once again, I check, and once again, he bets this time for it all, which is my remaining $915. And I really don't see how we can fold. And I literally say that out loud, and then I also say aces are good before I flick in the call. He says you're good in mucks, which means we're scooping a nearly $4,000 pot. Let's go.
I'm a poker pro now, brother.
The game was already really, really good. You guys thought I was joking, but over to my left, it's not this donkey. Hello. It's that donkey. I mean, this game is awesome, brother. This game is great. In this next hand, we look down at Ace Queen of Spades. A beautiful hand. We are in the +1. Action starts with a raise from under the gun to 35. I'm next to act, and I would almost always 3-bet here, but I think sometimes you got to mix in some calls here and there. I'd prefer to call with it being offsuit, but for some reason with it suited, I still just called, and the cutoff calls as well. And then the big blind decides to 3-bet 10x to $300. Yeah, the under the gun folds and action is back on me. Now, I've seen him do this twice. Once with Ace King and once with 7 Deuce, because we are playing the 7 Deuce game. So I think this is basically a coin flip here. And ultimately, I decide that Ace Queen suited is just too strong to fold. So I jam for $900 effective. The cutoff folds and the big blind snap call. So that might not be good. We're going to need some help. Now, the flop brings some hope. It comes Deuce, 10, King, 2 clubs. So we have a gut shot and over. And of course, we turn the nuts. The turn comes the Jack of Spades. The river's a little scary. It comes the King of Hearts. So we're losing to some full houses now. But he doesn't have one. He mucks, and we are scooping another nice size pot. And that brings us to the last hand of the session. In this last hand, we look down at another premium, this time pocket queens. We're on the hijack. There's an open from the +1 to $35. The +2 calls, and it folds over to me. I 3-bet to $155. Action is on Mason now, and he is a super pro, as you all know. So he cold calls in the cutoff, and so does the button, and the +1, and the +2. So we're going 5 ways to a flop. It comes Deuce, 7 Deuce, rainbow. Pretty amazing board if anybody has 7 Deuce, which is very, very possible. But when action checks to me, I'm going to keep betting. I bet $225. The cutoff and button fold, and now the +1 just calls. And then the hand gets really weird when the +2 decides to basically min raise to $500. Now, if this guy has 7 Deuce, he deserves my entire stack. I'm not folding. I call, and the +1 folds. So we're heads up to a turn. It's a 3 of diamonds, and now the +2 slows down and checks, which I was not expecting. I do consider betting here, but if he is somehow bluffing, I want to give him a chance to bluff on the river. So I check it back. We're off to a river. It's the Deuce of Clubs, which is an amazing card because it's super unlikely he has 7 Deuce now, and we improve to a full house. I'm hoping he bets, and he does. He bets $500, leaving himself $150 behind. So I jam for $650 effective, and he does not look happy. But obviously, he can't fold. He's getting 50 to 1 on a call. So he calls, I show the queens, and he mucks. So we're scooping in over $3,000 pot to end the night. Stop. Yeah, one-on-one session, whatever you want, brother.
15, 4,000. That's 55. 2,000, 4,000. 5,000, 50, 55.